service. Oh.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm well. How are you?
Oh.
Your name is not Sean, I'm guessing?
Yes, it is.
Nice to meet you, Sean.
Well, I think you drove me the other week, last week.
Oh, you've got a good memory. Did I drop you off here as well?
Yeah, you came to my you came to where we're going.
I remember dropping someone here off.
This is the reverse trip.
Okay. Your memory is much better than mine, but glad to get reacquainted then.
Well, I'm sure you see a lot more people in a day than I see Uber drivers in a week.
Oh, so you don't take it too often then. I must say, I think you have way more exposure to Uber drivers than I do, which, I mean, I'd love to know what it's like on the other side, you know, what others are doing and so on, just so I can have a better beat on how people do their business. But
well, they don't do it as completely as you do, that's for sure.
Thank you.
I think you're the only guy who's ever opened the door. It's crazy.
I'm encouraging others to consider doing it. It seems to be a really good inclusion, you know?
Well, it's funny because even taxis used to be that way.
Oh,
like,
really?
In the, well, I guess from the 30s to the 60s, my grandpa drove cab in Toronto and he owned a small cab company.
Yeah.
And in those days, cab drivers had to have hats, ties, jackets.
Okay.
Everything.
Yeah.
And that's all gone. Well, it's gone by the 70s, really.
See, someone said I should maybe write the manual for Uber drivers.
That's not a bad idea.
I've said
but don't do it for free.
Yeah. But here's why I said no. I said no because, see, like all this, if you're doing it out of compulsion because you have to fill off a whole bunch of checkboxes, you still miss the actual heart of why you do it in the first place.
Yeah, no doubt.
As opposed to if you do it voluntarily and because you actually care about your job, it seems to come across a lot more genuine, right? And so for that reason, I've thought it wouldn't serve the riders well to have this kind of legalized in a certain way of saying, don't forget to smile, don't forget to say this, because then you just lose the whole heart of why you're doing it, right?
Yeah. Like those old rules about hats and ties and jackets. Well, I don't think there is a thing called that anymore, but there used to be a thing in Toronto called the Livery Commission.
Okay.
And that was who you got your license to be a cab driver from.
Right.
And those were all
part
like,
of that.
It wasn't like, you know, you saw a guy wearing a tie and it was like, oh, look at him. It was like they all were dressed like that.
Right.
But I mean, in those days too, I think driving cab, you know, you could have a middle class life driving a cab. I don't think you can anymore.
Yeah.
You know, my grandpa like raised kids, bought a house, all these things.
Well, a taxi driver.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And I don't think that you can do that anymore. Well, he loved the business. Though.
Yeah.
Like when he couldn't drive anymore, he went and worked on the radio.
Okay.
And did the dispatching.
Okay.
Well, because that was before internet, right? It was just a radio. It was like R12.
Yeah.
Go to 5th Street.
Yeah, for sure. Once upon a time.
The taxi business in Calgary has always struck me as very weird. It's the only city I've ever been in where you can't walk out on the street and put your hand up and get a cab. When I first moved here, it just took me forever to get used to that. I'd be like, oh, I'll be right there. And I'd like walk out on the street and there'd be no taxis. I'd see one, I'd go like this and they'd just drive right by you.
Oh, man.
Because they only respond to phone calls, I guess, in those days.
I see.
Probably still.
I see.
But
yeah, I would say like all the extras usually happen when one is willing to I just go over and above what's expected, right?
Yeah.
And that one actually just cares enough for conveying a certain experience and saying, hey, you're worthwhile to, you know, have a little taste of, like, I guess some would say this is what you would give for the paying service, you know, like if you're getting a limousine, this is what you'd expect, right?
Yeah.
And my thought is, I usually don't resonate with those kind of differentiations amongst humans, especially if you can pay more, you're going to get served in a better way that shows more care than you would for your other fellow human beings.
Right.
That just doesn't translate for me in a really gracious way. And so hence why I'm like, actually, I'd rather give just amazing service for everyone just because it communicates again, you're a fellow human being and you're worthwhile.
Yeah,
Going
well,
out-
that's
pulling all those stops for
admirable, to be sure.
Why, thank you. That's at least what it translates in my conviction. And I think we have many ways of like communicating these nuances. Sometimes it's done without meaning to, you know, when you show that kind of partiality for one over another kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's those kind of expressions that I'm really sensitive towards. For example, a single mom who's got like, you know, kids all over her arms kind of thing.
Right.
You know, I'm not sure how much credit she gets for what she does, for example, right?
Oh yeah, no one wants to see her coming, right?
Right.
You know,
In comparison to like,
you can't necessarily blame those guys for that either, but so like I say to the
Yeah.
employees at the coffee shop,
yeah,
I know you hate that guy. I don't like that guy, but
yeah,
we're here.
Yeah.
And it's something that the guy at the roastery always says, is
Yeah.
that we're here to serve humanity.
I like that.
Which sounds so stupid, but he's actually right in the sense that,
It's compelling.
you know, you're there to give people what they want. So
Absolutely, yeah.
you might as well do a good job of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Why do a shitty job?
It makes sense. It makes sense.
But unfortunately, there are plenty of people who are happy enough to do a lousy job of something.
But it's almost like you're giving, like the way I think, it's almost like you're willing to give without any expectation of getting special credibility for it back, right?
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the cost. And I think most people sort of struggle with that economy, saying, no, I still want to
Oh,
see
sure,
something
if you
back
haven't
for
been
it.
exposed to it. So,
Mhm.
I mean, since I was a kid, I've been in and out of, you know, various, mostly food service jobs.
Sure.
But you learn a whole lot about all that kind of stuff from
Yeah,
that. You know?
yeah. Huh. Sean, I would love to share this conversation, the video of this conversation, with my followers. I think it's just like really meaningful stuff. I never do so if I don't have
Oh, sure, if you
consent.
want to do that, that's fine with me.
I really prefer to have consent first.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
You're okay with that? Do you mind signing a consent form?
Sure, no, I'll sign.
Awesome. Sure. It's just like the really meaningful stuff that we're talking about. I'm like, oh, I don't choreograph these, but when it happens, it's like, oh, this is a really good conversation to encourage others along the way. What is it about that coffee store that you love so much?
What is it I love about it? Well, we love that it's ours, I guess. And
When you say ours, you mean like the people's?
well, I have two partners in this
Oh,
place.
okay.
And it's real nice to, you know,
Yeah.
be your own
Boss. Oh, I tell you, I know what you mean.
Especially right now.
Yeah.
What is today? The 24th?
25th, actually.
25th.
Oh my
Crap.
goodness, yeah. Time just
The
hastens
whole
on.
world
Here.
is getting away from me here.
Man, I'm feeling the same too.
So,
Thanks,
I
Sean.
don't need a parent.
No, you're qualified. Thanks for
I'm
doing
just
that.
gonna jump out on the corner.
On
up
the
here.
corner here, sounds good. I'll pull over here.
Oh my God! Look, it's still not melting down here.
Not on this side.
Jesus, hey.
This is a good spot here.
This is perfect.
Look at that. It's so
Thanks
pretty.
very much.
Nice to meet you, Sean, again.
Oh yeah, you too, man.
I'll watch
I
over
hope
you.
I'll see you again.
That'll be awesome.
I'm
In the neighborhood.
a few times a week doing
Okay.
this, so yeah. Well, because until it gets nice enough to walk, I won't walk.
That's right. I remember.
All right, have a great evening.
Thank you, Sean.
Afternoon, I guess.
We'll start off with that one.